left to right. Welcome back. So your favorite,
learn how to do it still, so I don't know.
Nationally syndicated, worldly renowned, grossly popular
among all the 3 motorcycle riders in our community.
Yeah, motorcycle commentary. I'm your host and winner of the Best Looking Award, DJ Seeley.
In Spanish, that would be DJ Seeley.
Yes, in Portuguese, it's Dehe or something like that.
Yeah, the J's got an H sound. Yeah.
Yeah, best looking,
Randy B.
Best dressed, Randy B.
Whoop, whoop. At Dixon.
And family. Most likely to succeed,
John.
That's like the consolation prize, right?
So currently, beyond those doors, it is about 32 below zero.
Yep. Check it. Base layers.
Yes. Sherpa lining.
Beanie Scully cap.
Yep. Guys. So we grew up in the South, all of us. What's the word for this thing right here normally? We call this thing?
Boggin.
Toboggan.
Watch cap.
Yeah. So when I moved out to Arizona, and of course I traveled some in business before that, but when I called it that, I got really a lot of funny looks.
Because that's a sled.
It is a sled. And so, since then, I've never called it toboggan since. The beanie. I don't even know if that's a legitimate word, because we call beanies where we splice wire together beanies.
Okay.
That's what they're called on the package, Blue Dolphin beanies. So I don't
reckon I've ever used those.
Yeah, well, they're gel packed, so you don't get any water in them and all that kind of good stuff. So
yeah, they're cute.
Low voltage world,
Mm-hmm.
Those of us that do that kind of small work. You people are all high voltage, high powerful.
That's right.
Big dogs.
Yeah, big stuff. So what's going on? Me and John are we're headed north in the morning.
Yep.
What are you doing this weekend?
Well,
Why aren't you going?
I'm going to fish Saturday. Mm-hmm.
Hey, you remember last year I bought those fancy fishing gloves and then told you that I lost them and maybe left them laying on the deck of the boat at some point in time.
Right,
we drove
right.
off. Right. Found them this weekend.
I bet you're happy about that.
I am a little. Well, I mean, I'm happy that I found them.
Okay.
But I found them during the process of a master closet renovation.
Oh, yeah, we got wind of that.
So I was like, really? I lost these in the closet.
So that's where Mama said, see, aren't you glad you helped me now?
Look, I had them in a very practical place.
So you wouldn't forget.
Which was on top of the dresser, where you wouldn't miss them. I can assure you I did not put them where I found them in the closet. That would not be where I would have put them.
I'm going to ask.
Tread lightly. Tread lightly. Tread lightly.
Where, per se, did you find them?
I mean, it just...
Down behind the dresser on the floor?
Like if you just covered your eyes and threw them in the closet.
About right there?
About right there is where they're...
Yeah, it's like the whole dryer eats socks thing.
Yeah.
Just, disappears. So, yes, Mama tried this weekend.
Yeah.
At least I heard she did. So, Merle Haggard said she did.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had an episode a couple weeks ago or so, kind of about the gist of it. But that was the goal, was to talk about what you guys have kind of officially lined up, and then what you may anticipate trying to do.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't guess plans have changed since the last episode that we discussed it. We obviously got tickets to the show. We bought some tickets to go to the museum. I'm pretty excited about that. Apparently, there's some merch there that's only sold at the museum, so
Cool.
hopefully that doesn't let me down. And then we got tickets to the Flat Out Friday round track race that they do on the Dr. Pepper syrup. That ought to be interesting.
And that's indoor, right?
Yeah.
That's I don't know that it's indoor as in climate control.
No, probably not.
But
Just
it's
an arena
indoor.
type.
Yeah.
Which is a blessing because looking at the weather forecast, I think it's a high of 13.
Something like that. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's going to be a little cold up there for us Alabama boys.
Well, and there should still be snow on the ground because they just got through having a snow. Two actually went through.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier before we came over. There's a front coming through, I guess from about the Tennessee line up through Kentucky. It's not supposed to get above freezing tomorrow, which is good. It means the snow will remain snow, but a little different than what we're used to down here.
Well, and you and I've had some cold weather, and I think one of our episodes a couple of weeks ago, we talked about John over there because they had gotten some once in a lifetime snow where they kind of were snowed in for a little while. So, but John, normally you're in the humid, high temp area.
Yeah.
So, you going up there is really going to be a change.
Yeah, I guess in the 2 years I've been down there, I've acclimatized to the humidity and the coastal area. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty cold. But I'm kind of hot natured, so
Maybe that'll help.
maybe I'll balance out.
All right, so you're going to the flat track. I think that alone will be probably the one thing that I would say that I would miss out on, because I think I've seen some videos. I've watched some videos on purpose because of that, and it looks pretty fun. Almost looks like the I don't know if you guys used to go out to the fairgrounds when they used to have the derby races out there with the, what do they call them, where they crash, burn into each other, and
Demolition derby?
funny cars, demolition derby, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I used to go out there all the time to see that. That was so much fun.
Yeah.
And I just kind of anticipate it being, I don't know, somewhat similar, because people dress up, decorate their bikes in certain ways, and some of them make bikes just for that because they know they're going to be, abusing them, so to speak.
I took my kids to the demolition derby. It's been a year or two ago. It was an interesting experience for them to go up to the infamous Sayre.
Oh yeah. Well, ours was at the fairgrounds back when the fair used to come there.
Yeah.
And that's where we used to. I've never been to Sayre. I've heard they do a lot of fun stuff over there, though.
Mm-hmm. It was interesting.
So any restaurants you've looked at that you have an anticipation of eating or dining at that maybe is not a chain? Because I think y'all's mentality is the same as mine. When I go out of town, I try not to eat at chain restaurants.
No, yeah, we'll try and find some local cuisine. I'm sure we're staying at the Iron Horse in Milwaukee, which is kind of a motorcycle themed hotel. They're supposed to have a pretty nice restaurant and lounge to hang out in, so I'm sure we'll try it out. But other than that, no, I haven't really researched anything in particular. Have you, John?
No, I haven't.
I mean, food is part of our going places, right?
Sure.
I mean, eating is a complete, not only a way of life, but a necessity for us. So
Yeah.
good deal. So Saturday, what's the plans on Saturday?
Saturday is mostly just the show.
Okay.
I think our museum tickets are Sunday, right?
I'll
I have to go back and look.
Friday.
Okay. Maybe they are. I don't know.
So you're returning Sunday or Monday?
Monday.
Okay.
Monday. Be back Monday.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's about what, 9.5 hours? Nine to nine, about the same distance as it is Daytona, ain't it?
Yeah.
Just
We
the
looked
opposite
at flying. There just wasn't any. There wasn't any direct flights from here to there, and so when you had the layover in, and it was going to take the same amount of time to fly as it would to drive. So figured I'd be in good company. So I was down for the ride.
Well, and what it would cost you to fly, you can, fuel, probably save you a little bit of money, even though, if you put the cruise on.
Yeah.
About 69.25. Don't go too much faster than that.
Well, what major metro areas are we going to be going through, John? Have you planned our route?
Oh, if we go all the way up 65 until we can't no more, that'll carry us through Nashville and Louisville. Be the two biggest cities. And then, is it Gary where 65 ends?
Chicago.
Well,
Somewhere
before
up in
you
that
get
area.
to Chicago,
Yeah,
you
somewhere
have to
up in
turn.
that area.
You have to head west on. I can't remember the name of the number of that interstate that goes over to Chicago. But where 65 ends, we'll start heading west and start. It kind of curves around Lake Michigan and cut through Chicago, and then I think Milwaukee's about a little over an hour north, maybe an hour and plus.
Okay.
North of Chicago.
I've never been up that way. About as far north as I've ever been is Louisville.
I've been just a little bit further and crossed the river into Indiana as far as I've driven.
I've been to Louisville a couple times. Louisville's pretty cool.
It is.
Cool town.
A lot of baseball history. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, Kentucky's full of bourbon history.
Yep.
And horses and bluegrass, music.
There's some beautiful riding through Kentucky. If given the opportunity to spend a weekend in Kentucky and do some riding up there, I'd encourage you to take advantage of that.
I think one of our counterpart podcasting groups, one of their members is from Kentucky. Do I remember that correctly? Yeah, I think so. I don't know if he calls in from there or if he now lives somewhere else, but I think he, at least at one time, was originally or from there. So cool.
So you're fishing, huh? That's gonna be a cold ass on the water.
So I've got games to call. I've got a game to call tomorrow night. One game. So thank God for that. We called games last night. Got games Thursday night and got games Friday night. So I'll probably be still frozen come Saturday morning. So I really probably won't notice the 20-degree temperature when I take off.
And then you'll be sick for Daytona. So that'll be
probably won't happen. No. I mean, I can snot and blow and be feverish down there. So it's all good, and we got to do it somewhere. Area that we're covering is basically Gardendale, Jordan Corner, Hayden. You supporting our garb there?
We got some swag gear.
Oh yeah. We're gonna take it to Daytona and
Southern
pass around.
Tulane gold top huggies.
There you go. Got some stickers and some pins and some hats and koozies. Yeah, we'll see what we can come up with when we get down there.
All right, so we get back from Mama Tried. We rest up.
Yep.
Get over the jet lag. Close out a little business and get everybody headed in the right direction. And then what day am I meeting you, John, before we head to Daytona?
If you're waiting to meet me, you're gonna miss out. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna make it this year.
Damn. All right. Well, yes. So, and I will tell you that based on the latest weather forecast, I may be riding and not trailering, because it's supposed to be sunny the entire time that I can get the weather map up to as of today. So, we only can see 2 weeks out. So Friday, which is a departure day here, the 28th, all the way through Wednesday, the southeast is sunny, a little cool here. I think 60 is the high that Friday. So, but we'll get further south by Friday night, spend the night, and then ride on in Saturday. And it's supposed to be 70 and sunny or warmer so far through Wednesday. That's as far as I can get from the 2 week out. So obviously, by by this coming Friday, I'll be able to see most of the week and know what's going on. So
10-4.
may happen.
Giddy up.
Yep.
I'll
that-
be trailering.
Well, that way I don't have to worry about, storing the truck and trailer. You've got that guy's contact information. I contacted him, but after I spoke with him, I called the lady we're renting the house from gave me a number of the people across the road in one of those shopping centers. Those people gave me the landlord's name who owns a shop like literally across the street and over 2 blocks.
Mm-hmm.
And he was gonna let me park there for a couple $100 for the week. So, but if I have to cancel, do you want to do that or do you want to stay where you were at? Because I think where you were going to be or where we'd originally talked about was a little bit further away. It wouldn't be $200 for you if he's got space. You're half the time. So
Yeah. I don't know that I care. I'd say probably the closer I am to the truck and trailer, the better, probably, just to simplify things. But
yeah, let's see if I've got.
Doesn't really matter.
Let's see if I've got that. I thought I put it on here somewhere. Bike Week. There it is. It's a Carl's Advanced Automotive.
Okay.
And they're right across the street from the house. So yeah, your truck and trailer would probably be more accessible should you need to access anything.
Yeah.
You might want to call quick before this gets published and aired because they might fill up now.
Right.
Yeah.
Good
All
call.
of our listeners.
All 3 people
Good
may
call.
want to.
Luckily for me, this will not be published until I have adequate time to call and make those arrangements.
True. So that would be the 24th at 7 p.m. So you do have a deadline.
Yeah. All right.
So
So John's out. I guess it'll just be me and,
So there
and
it
my
is right
friends
there.
from the Stone Temple Pilots cruising the A1A.
Yep. So that's where it is. We're staying there. It's come out. You're going south, and then it's on the right there.
Oh yeah, that is pretty close.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that'll reduce the miles on the bike while I'm down there. That's probably a good plan.
yeah, gotta say.
What can I say? So I walk into the dealership
Dear Jesus.
this past weekend.
Oh, hurry up, I got
right
something
there
for you.
up front. They've got the Raven Fade CVO.
Stop it.
Which is a sexy bike. I like it. And I got to talking to our friendly sales associate and said, hey, what's trade-in on my Road Glide these days? And she told me about, she said, what'd she say? 21 to 24 based on, how clean it was and miles. And she said, I know you don't really ride. It ain't going to have any miles on it and you're going to keep it clean and all that stuff.
She called me to ask. And
I'd go 24, 25 on it. So then I got to thinking.
because they'll ask 30 for it.
Yeah, probably.
Every bit.
But then I was like, I just don't know. If I walked in there tomorrow and my bike was sitting there for 25 or that Black Raven was sitting there for
45.
45, and which one am I going to buy? And I still think I'm content where I'm at with mine at 25.
I ain't gonna lie. Well, and that's like the orange, red, sunset, glow, fade, black,
Been there
striped
for
chrome
6
one.
months.
If that was a Road Glide, it would have long been gone. Nobody wants that Street Glide. All right, so the Fade, though, is a lovely paint job. I think at some point I would like to own another Fade. I love mine. I love your Limited that's faded. But I think I'd like to maybe one day own it. But we'll see.
Am I
plan-
limited?
No, not yours.
Oh.
The Fade, the Raven Fade.
So we might could work something out. I
Yeah,
don't know.
no, I'm not interested in that one. I got to have something that's got RDRS on it. It's got to have that brake hold on it.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
That's a big deal.
I mean,
Now,
if I had a 30-inch inseam, I'd probably agree.
Yeah. Johnny just digged both of us right there.
Yeah, but I don't know that I've ever felt like I needed RDRS.
It is nice. The
Need is different.
The
When you've got
BMW's
it,
got
it's
it.
just enjoyable.
yeah, the BMW's got it. Now I find myself engaging it at when needed or
Wanted.
wanted.
Yeah.
Mostly, probably just because it's there. I don't know that I'd miss it if it wasn't.
I mean, that's kind of what we do with most of the things that are on some of these bikes,
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to use the remote to lock the saddlebags every time I get off of it, but I do it because I can't.
Of course, I said that about power steering on a four-wheeler until I rode one that had power steering on a
Oh, yeah.
four-wheeler.
No,
Ka-ching.
that's a
Oh,
game
wow.
changer there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or I had one that was full-time four-wheel drive and then bought one that was not. That's a big difference.
Yeah.
Because one that's full-time four-wheel drive, you don't want to put it on asphalt.
No.
But if it's not full-time, man, that thing is, that was fun.
Yeah, a little
That was
squirrely.
crazy. Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
They've got to do a mod to it because that's the saddlebag that's got the charging port in it. So, but everything is still good to go. They just need to, disassemble what I put in and then just drill the hole in that brand new CVO saddlebag.
Yeah.
So anyway, my saddlebag's here.
That's, I put a charger in the saddlebag of my Road Glide, and I appreciate having it. That's a cool mod. If you haven't done it, it goes straight to the battery, so you can leave your phone in the saddlebag, leave it plugged up all the time, or your headset if you're a headset kind of guy, and charge it when you're not on the bike, and that's cool. I was glad I did that.
Well, the limiteds have got the connection, the cigarette lighter connection in the trunk, tour pack.
But it's still not hot all the time.
It's a switched port.
Right.
But the ones we put in on the side saddlebags, they're directly to the battery.
Yeah.
So even when the bike is off, so if you walk away and you need to charge your phone, and it's a quick charge too, by the way, that little thing will charge my phone up pretty quick.
Yeah.
And another thing that you and I did, John, did you put the little side connection in the panel?
I did not.
So I did that to both my bikes. DJ liked it and then did it to all 4 or 5 or 8 of his. And but that's also a cool part too, to be able to not have that dongle hanging down and more of just a little port that's got a rubber cover over it. So that's another little that I've enjoyed. Those were very cheap and to do, and
A couple bucks on Amazon and 15, 20 minutes of time.
Yep.
And yeah, Randy will throw up a picture in the video.
Absolutely.
What that looks like.
They're very practical, and like you said, it was even the charging ports on the inside. Once we got the wire run in, it's a cigarette lighter scenario, and I just stuck in the little cigarette lighter that's got the USB-C and the USB-A on it, so I can use either one. Or if somebody's got the older iPhone that requires the Lightning connection, then I can still charge.
So you've got your panel pulled off on your Mako over there. Did you run a Y splitter off your existing or a whole nother cable?
It's a whole nother cable.
Okay.
Yeah, so both run off of the battery, run directly off the battery.
Yeah.
So, and it's odd because I technically could have run a splitter off of that, and they offer and make one to do something like that. The problem is once I put in the port, I felt like I would have a whole lot of cable kind of wadded up right there, and I didn't want that. So it just made sense to, they're the little clips that go on the battery are very thin. So I was able to make it happen that way. So the whole fiasco with the saddlebag, I don't know if John, you've been aware of it, but it, obviously we're sitting here 6 months past the order date, and I had to call Gunslinger myself to get it done.
Yeah, we can go over those details later and over chicken wing, but
yeah, it was just a fiasco. It was just one of those other things that just didn't have to happen, and very well could have been handled differently. You've experienced it at the dealerships you've dealt with your bikes. DJ has. We all have at some point or another, whether it's bikes or anything, to be honest with you. Best Buy over a computer or, but it's customer service, and it's understanding that, hey, these guys that buy stuff from us are the ones that pay our salaries. So we really should care. But many don't. So anyway.
all right. So she'll be looking fly again. I assume that's the bike you'll be taking to the Daytona.
I will.
Yeah.
I will be.
I think I've settled on, I'm going to take the Limited this year. Took the Road Glide last time. And, Allison rode with me some last week. Was it last week? Week before last, maybe?
Weekend before last.
Yeah, something like that.
She's decided that, she's going to spend a little more time on that bike. So got to make it a little more comfortable. I think I'm going to ease by the Corbin shop, see if I can blow a band.
There you go. I think you can. I bet they got something there for you. And John, they got somebody there that can install it for him too.
Yes, they do.
They do.
I've still got pictures of Homer's a good installer. He can get that right there for you.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so you'll be looking fly down there on the Mako. I'm on ease down there on the limited, or ease around down there on the limited. I'm not going down there on the limited.
Do you need my trailer to bring?
So
all
when I
of them
get
down?
there, my one of my first goals is going to be
Hang on, let me type this up here. Go ahead.
take selfies at John's favorite hotspots.
Oh, okay, and send them to him.
Right,
Okay,
right.
we can do that.
So what's number one on the list? Where am I going first, John Woody?
Probably a Bloody Mary at Sunset Boulevard.
Ooh, with the shrimps.
I will have been there 6 times before DJ even gets there.
Yeah, is there another reason to eat breakfast anywhere else?
No, there's not. Oh, by the way, they've opened up a location in Ormond Beach, so you don't have to go all the way to Flagler now.
I'll pass.
Yeah, but Flagler is kind of part of the experience.
It is, and I'll tell you what the advantage of it. And Jeremy and I ate there in the fall, and it was very good. Food was almost the exact. The Bloody Mary was good. The difference is the balcony or the high top, loft, porch, deck thing, whatever you call it. That just brings a whole new aspect to the view.
Yeah.
But I will tell you that drive up A1A is also enticing.
So just, I think I may have texted y'all. I read something on, there's like 5 different Daytona BikeWeek Facebook pages.
Yeah.
And I don't, and half the stuff on there is just advertisement and, but, so, and the legitimacy of some of the stuff that's on there, I have no idea of whether it's legit or not. But apparently, according to this article, if you will, was that they have lowered the speed limit of A1A from Ormond all the way up to Flagler, which, my first thought was that's not necessarily a bad thing, because, I kind of wouldn't mind cruising at 35 all the way up there. But I think it used to get up to maybe even 55 in some sections, 45 in some sections.
45 mostly, I think.
Yeah. But if I read it right, and if it
you're
was
right. You
accurate,
did.
it was 35 all the way to Flagler.
But can you keep a bike standing up at 35?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm perfectly content
Yes.
doing that.
I can.
But
I can throw my boots up on the highway pegs and
Leave it in second gear?
yes, hang up there on them apes.
You don't have apes on your limited, so you can forget that.
I mean,
You can have some put on there while we're there, though.
better than them shrimpy little 12s you got over there.
Hey, them things, they may not be tall, but they're wide, baby.
It's funny you say that, because I was actually, Bobby and I went and rode Saturday. And as I was riding around Saturday, I ended up putting 12s on mine as well, so that I didn't have to do the expense of the cables. I took a shortcut. And for the first time, did I feel a little bit of regret on that. I really wished I'd have done 14s.
You know why that happened, didn't you?
No.
You got a hold of them 17s the weekend before.
Oh, maybe so.
Well, that's what that's what I was about to say. I was going to say, you don't need to change the limited. Leave those how they are, because I'm happy with mine on the limited. What you need to get is that blue. You need to get that blue steel CVO and put you some 19s on that one.
At some point, I can't remember where we were. We may have been going down through Orange Beach on the road, and at some point I took my left hand and just kind of set it up above my left handlebar about 2 inches, and I could hear Bobby behind me. She kind of leaned up and she said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Just trying to get a feel for what 14 would feel like."
Mm-hmm.
She didn't understand.
She was like, "Yeah, me too."
I'm trying to come up with something. Like, I've been telling you 2 more and doing a lot.
Bleep bleep bleep.
Yeah, shoot. Now I might have just talked myself into taking both bikes. Who knows?
Well, I was going to say, if you want to bring both of them, the trailer's over there.
I'm telling you, them Carlinis make you feel some kind of way. I dig that bike.
Yeah, I like my my road glides. Those are, I think those were 14s, and I'm not saying that I wouldn't have liked 16s, But I'm happy with those. They stick up good. Of course, the Road Glide bars fit different. Period. So I think you're allowed to get
2 inches longer. I think is what you got to have on a Road Glide versus
because they don't go as wide.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 inches higher on the limited and that wide would be a little tough on me, I think, because my arm are pretty straight with the 12s that are on there. So, but yes, one of the things I want to do at Oceanside Bar and Grill, besides breakfast, is I want to try an after breakfast meal there this year. I haven't eaten there, only breakfast, but I've heard, and their menu says that they have other good food. So I'd be kind of curious to see what their other foods are and see if it's as good as breakfast. Hopefully it is, so it doesn't ruin my experience. I'd hate to know that I got my feelings hurt over.
Man, they do a good enough job at breakfast. I can't imagine that they fail at lunch or dinner. I'm sure it's good. All right, so what's next? We eat breakfast at Oceanside.
So I've got a few things here that we're probably going to try to eat at. So Norwood's Treehouse. These are some places that we discovered in the fall. I'm a creature of habit, as you guys know. So, if a place is good and serves good food, I'm going back there every time. But I told Jeremy when we were down there in the fall, we've got to find some new places and experience some new things. So we went to Norwood's Treehouse Bar. So it is across the Halifax River in New Smyrna Beach, like going to, I can't remember the beach name down there. It's actually a U.S. federal park.
Yeah.
And it's actually listed as a potential nude beach, topless beach or something along those lines. I'm using air quotes in case you can't see me.
Mm-hmm.
But because it's federal land, if people want to...
have been working out.
Sun's out, guns out, and breast out, I guess, is what I'm saying. We didn't make it that far because there is a gate to go into and a fee to pay to go into the park area. And we didn't have that much time, and we weren't planning to stay. We were just going to kind of tour the area and come back. So down close to that entrance to that park was JB's Fish Camp, which they're right on the southern end of the Halifax, down from New Smyrna, and that was a fantastic play. Had a band playing. We had just an appetizer and something there that kind of around lunchtime. It was a typical fish camp restaurant. Mm-hmm. But then we came back up, and right before you go across, so you guys know where we've been staying there, where Outriggers is. So if you go across the river, they're going to Outriggers, and where we stayed the first couple times we went down. Or if you go down the river, both bridges crosses over Halifax, and then this road comes around and joins. I wish I could remember the name of that road. I should have wrote that down. But anyway, there's a treehouse restaurant right there.
Like literally in a tree?
Literally, it's in a tree. It started out as a restaurant years ago, and the trees from around the restaurant grew enormous. And they branched out, no pun intended, they branched out the restaurant and built into the trees a tree house. And they have their bar and outdoor seating that goes around the trees. Phenomenal place. Food was pretty good. Drinks were pretty good. But the environment and the looking, and we were there on Sunday afternoon, so a lot of people have left. Wasn't very crowded. You could see the river from there. Very cool place. Very cool place.
What was that restaurant we went to with Tim? It was inland. There was a little lake, a lot of campgrounds, RV.
Renegades.
Renegades.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't mind going back there one day. That was kind of neat. I don't remember the food quality grade, but I just remember it being a fun environment.
Yeah, it was.
Decent little ride out there if you're
in Crescent
down there
City.
and want to spin up a few miles and stretch out a little bit. It's about an hour ride maybe.
It is about an hour 10, something like that.
Cool little dive spot when you get there, hang out, and have a few drinks, and head back. So
in 23, when we went down and you and Ron and all came down, we were down there together. I think we tried to hook up and go out.
Yeah, we did,
but we weren't able to make it happen. Jeremy and I went out there. We didn't make it this past fall, but I'm gonna take Chris out there this spring because he'll want to see it. But gators in the little pond that's right there, and little small gators and all, but they're still there. But it's bar food for the most part.
Yeah.
But it's good. But like you said, the environment, because so down by the river is really a true bar.
Yeah. With a band stage
Band,
behind
that's right,
it.
band playing and everything.
And then there's an actual restaurant in the house. Yeah.
Yeah, and we sat on the deck that overlooked all that, which I thought was a great view.
Got the gate in the pond.
Yep. Yeah, it was good. So you've got, and then when you come back across the river from the Treehouse Restaurant, you've got a place that we visited, which may have been the coolest, maybe / most fun, but that probably had a lot to do with the powerful pop of the rum drink that we had, because they have a special rum runner, is what they call it. Be careful when you get that. Just saying. But it's called River Deck Tiki Bar and Restaurant. And from there...
River what?
River Deck.
Okay.
Tiki Bar and Restaurant. Deck. And from their kind of area where we were sitting, you can actually see the area where Outriggers is, because it's on that same channel, waterway. And, of course, then you got Outriggers, and you got to make that place. So... But I'm just going to go down through this list right here. If you guys want to stop and hash one out, let me know, because we've been to many of them. So you've got the Broken Spoke. I think the three of us went there last spring.
Yep.
Sat there and chatted it up a little bit. They were closed in the fall. I was very disappointed in that.
Really?
Yep. Saints and Sinners at Destination Daytona. That's everybody knows that one. Iron Horse Saloon. Everybody knows that one. Oceanside Bar and Grill. We've mentioned that one. Stonewood Grill and Tavern. I think we've been there a lot. With Tim took us there the first year, and then you and I have been back, and John and I have been back there.
Yeah, they got Tim and I's favorite wine.
They do. ZD.
ZD.
You got me looking every time I go somewhere where they serve wine. I'm like, do y'all have ZD here?
All right.
Yeah, nobody's got it.
Nope.
Yeah. So then you've got the Beaver Bar, and we'll just leave that there.
Yeah.
But it's down by the Broken Broken Spoke. It's down that street where Iron Horse and all that is. Bar food. River Grill. We've eaten there a couple times. It's on the river going to Destination.
Stopped there on our way in last time, I think.
We did. I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Land Shark Bar and Grill. Passed it several times. It's on down the A1A, like going to... so if you go A1A, it deads in eventually, but you have to turn and go across the river, but... or that portion of it does. It's down that way. Then you've got some pretty cool places to hang out / bars, and that's the Boat Bar. Now, we pass that every time we've been there. Well, Jeremy and I stopped this past year for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And it is, you remembered, it's a boat shaped like a boat sitting right there on the corner on US 1 coming from New Smyrna towards the destination.
Okay.
Phenomenal place. Like when you go inside, it's shaped just like a boat. There's just enough room to walk behind the bar where people sit to go to the restroom or come and go. Drinks were, $2. So, compared to destination where they're $18, it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty cool. Then there's a place called the Dog House Bar and Grill. They have this little older building where the restaurant is, but then you go out back and they've got this barbecue pit, this bar set up, this stage set up. It's just an open door environment. That's pretty cool. So, and then you got the Last Resort Biker Bar. Now, Jeremy and I went there because he had heard about the story of the woman that had murdered 7 men between the years of 1989 and 1990. And she just lived around the corner, and they actually arrested her in that bar. In 2003, they made a film about her, made-for-TV movie called The Monster.
Yeah, I remember that.
She was the first female serial killer put to death in the state of Florida.
Yeah.
So a lot of history there. We sat there for a while. We got a tour of the facility. This year I'm going to take my camera back and do some interviewing and kind of get that on and maybe be able to produce that a little bit. So,
okay.
But that's a pretty interesting story. So it's called the Last Resort Biker Bar. And then there's dealerships, lots of stuff going on. You've got Legendary Boot Hill, Dirty Harry's, Full Moon, some other stuff, and all the kind of traditional stuff that we see. But we ventured out last year to matter of fact, you texted me and said, well, what are you doing today? And I said, well, we I think we were at the Indian dealership or something, maybe Ride Now, looking at all the KTMs. And I said, well, when you're not having a bunch of stuff done to your bike and spending all day at Destination Daytona, you really got a lot of time to go see stuff. Mm-hmm. So that's what we did, because neither one of us had anything majorly done. So we did a lot of finding new places to visit and hang out and enjoy. And I thought that was pretty cool. Nintendo doing the same thing, because I got nothing I want done. So gonna try to do the same thing. Yeah.
Nothing.
So
Nada.
I'll tell you a place that we found when we were down there. If y'all make it up to St. Augustine's,
Okay.
Where you pass the lighthouse and then cross the toll bridge, you can then take a right, and it's kind of right there where the historical area is. I think after you make that right, heading back north along the water line, the second block is a Cajun seafood place called Harry's.
Okay.
And neat little restaurant. They have a patio area where they have live music, but then they also have, I think it's a 3-story seating, 3 levels in this building that they serve on all 3 levels. And I think there's a bar on each level. But there's a kind of a neat little, it's also a haunted restaurant. And it's got a neat little story behind it.
Okay.
Very, very good food. Very good gumbo.
Oh,
So if y'all want to venture out that way, check
you're
that
ringing
out.
my bell.
Yeah.
You might want to make reservations though.
You perk old Randy B up if you start talking about some gumbo.
Yeah, it's good gumbo. I think, and the red beans and rice, it was very good.
I want to say that I've seen it, and I want to say that it's in the Old Town Main Street.
But right there along the water. So if you get a window seat, you're watching the drawbridge and all the boats, sitting there mooring until they can open the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
So in 23, when you and Allison and Shelley and I went down, we walked around down there looking for wedding dresses and just kind of walked around Old Town. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
I think we saw it then.
Okay.
We thought there was a Harley outpost in that
There
area.
is.
But we never could find it.
So it's a
Found
couple.
that.
It's a
Well,
couple of blocks in.
maybe
When
they
you
were-
kind of the main thoroughfare going north and south.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a little T-shirt shop.
That's what it was.
We were looking for a dealership, found an outpost.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think I saw it there because that was the trip where there was this one time in Daytona
That's right. That's right. Same trip.
that it rained.
Oh yeah, I remember that story.
You want to proceed to tell?
Didn't we? We already told it in the
We've already told that story.
Have we
Go
told
back
that
and listen to
story?
one of the other
back
episodes.
in the Ragnar days.
Yep, that's right. Well, there's always stories. If you don't come back from a trip, and you guys don't come back this week and say there was this one time in Mama Tried, then you didn't go.
We've
even
always
from
got one of those. There was this one time.
That's right. I mean, even from Missouri, y'all came back and was like, it was this one time in Missouri that I almost ran out of gas, didn't make it. So
Yeah.
In the middle of the Mark Twain National Forest.
oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So there's got to be one of those. Anyway, so Chris is not here, and by the way, I don't know if everybody knows John, but he's sitting in with us tonight, and we're glad to have him because they're going up to Mama Tried. So, John, what's the latest on your end of the world from the aspect of plans and riding? And obviously, I would say what's the temperature down there, but you guys have just experienced some really unseasonably cold weather the last 30 days.
Yes, we have. But it starts to warm up there a little sooner, not much sooner, but a little bit. What I remember from the last 2 springs being down there, you do get some really good weather, some really beautiful days, but you start getting those May afternoon showers. They don't last long, 15 minutes and they're done, but you just kind of have to keep an eye out. They can pop up on you at any minute. As far as big trips, no, we don't right now. Don't have anything planned. We've tossed around some ideas. One thing that has been heavy on my mind is, but it's all dependent upon baseball schedule. Is trying to plan a trip with my son and involving the motorcycles. He's mentioned it several times. And I don't know what that's going to look like. It's going to depend on what the calendar lays out with what his free time looks like. Don't know. He hasn't firmed up his plans for summer ball quite yet. Got a couple irons in the fire, but haven't made a decision. So if we can fit in a trip. Ultimately, he wants to go to Sturgis. Ultimately, he wants to make a Daytona trip.
Okay.
But obviously, neither one of the Daytona options work for baseball. But we're going to try to plan something. I'm going to try to plan something for he and I. Get on the bikes, go somewhere, and do some riding.
Cool.
Kind of, he did not get to take a senior trip after graduation last year because, well, various factors. But
Sure.
I kind of feel like we need to try to do something this year. But other than that, I don't
Those
know.
mountains in Georgia and East Tennessee are still in South Carolina, still calling your name.
They are. That's going to be. I mean, maybe with him, but Bobby and I talked about trying to do that this year because we have not been back up there since the White Glide days.
Yep.
So, kind of would like to go see the Cherahela again. Don't really care too much about doing the Tail of the Dragon again, but that just doesn't. I think we talked about that.
Yeah.
Is it the Cherahela or the Cherry Holly?
It's the Churhala.
Yeah, whatever.
Churhala.
I think the locals up there call it the Cherry Haley.
Maybe so.
I'm sure the locals up there call it a lot of things.
So I was doing some studying on that. You know that restaurant that I put you on in Tellico Plains?
Yeah.
Well, apparently there's a couple of cabins that have been built right adjacent to it. There's like 4 or 5 of them.
Right on the river.
Right there on the river.
Yep.
That are Airbnbs. So may look at planning an extended weekend up there to one of those and then just making that our base because from there I can go north or I can go south back into Georgia.
Yep. There's a lot of riding from there. Tellico Plains it's small, but it's got enough to keep you food in your belly and a place to sleep while you're riding.
The other option is just a little further north. There's the old motor inn that they've converted into a little motorcycle resort. Got a restaurant, and then go a little bit further.
Tapico Lodge.
Yeah, Tapico Lodge.
We've stayed there. That's a nice place.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tafico's nice. But, I'll come back from Daytona, again, catch my breath, clean the bikes up, put them back in the garage, and load up probably the Beamer and the KTM and be headed up to Tellico for March Moto Madness.
Oh, that's right. When is that?
The mother of all ADV rallies.
Am I going to that? I don't remember.
First weekend in April. I hope so.
All right. Well, I got some things that need to happen, but that's a possibility.
It's I went last year, stayed in Tellico Plains in a little Airbnb place, but there's some nice riding there off road if you're into that thing. There's one state park, and I need to look up the name of it. Maybe somebody will email us or text Randy or something. And, I'll give you his number here.
It's 205 D. Hay Sealy.
But there's a state park that's it's interesting because it's like a gravel road that leads down to this state park. But then once you get into the state park, it's paved, and there's a road that kind of runs parallel to the river. Just gorgeous scenery. And there's people standing out there fly fishing, and you're putting through here at 25, 30 miles an hour, just winding as the river winds.
That's not the one that got washed away during the hurricane, was it?
I don't know. It might have.
One of those roads took a big
ride.
beating up there with along that riverbank.
Yeah, it may have. But anyway, yeah, I'll be headed up to Tellico.
Cool.
To check that out. At least that's the plan right now. Yeah.
You know, one thing that I think we still have a standing invitation. I'm not 100% sure. But one thing that we probably need to bring back in our radar was an invite to, now that they're hopefully recovering from some of the damage and getting some federal assistance, but up to North Carolina and maybe take a tour of Reinhardt. I think that offer is still standing.
Yep.
Yeah, and they had last time I talked to him at Thunder Beach, went over and spent afternoon with him on that Sunday as everything was breaking down. They've got a lot of things in the works. With the 23.5 and newer models, and then some other things that they're venturing out to.
Supposed to have something for the Pan America pretty soon.
Yeah, that. I didn't know what I could speak to and what I couldn't. So, some other types of bikes that are gaining popularity, and getting in those markets. So they were still in the testing phase and kind of me personally, I am a Reinhardt exhaust fan. I know there's a lot of great other products, but kind of curious to see how that pans out for them, and I'm excited for them.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be neat to go up there, and I think he has. Last time I talked to him, he has gotten rid of his ADV. His
He had it for sale. He
yeah.
tried to sell it to me, and I probably should have bought it, but anyway, I didn't.
And I think he.
Sorry about that.
He's in a road glide or a street glide right now.
Okay.
I think, last I talked to him, so we talked about maybe getting together and kind of going seeing the facility, and then he was going to take us on some rides.
Good.
That'd be cool.
But yeah, I had a conversation with an old friend of mine from college. We used to work together. Now he's out in Houston, Texas, and we've kind of kept up with each other on Facebook. And he's got 23 Ultra Limited, if I'm not mistaken, and he's finally getting ready to look at doing something. And actually, I saw his post on Ultra Limited, and I was like, so I just texted him. I was like, hey, so you looking at doing some audio? And I see one of the places he mentioned was Volunteer. Now he found out about it all the way out in Houston. And I said, Jay and his wife, Samantha. I said, they'll take care of you. Definitely worth, if I were to go anywhere, that's where I would go.
Yeah.
I mean, there's plenty of other options, other products out there, but I think for bang for the buck and quality of service, I don't think you can go wrong with them. So last I heard, he was going to reach out to Jay, and I think I connected them.
Cool.
But I haven't gotten an update from him.
Yeah. But yeah, we got a lot of stuff coming up immediate. Mama Tried and Daytona Bike Week, and be a lot of videos. So check out the social media channels. We're Southern 2 Lane, all one word, Southern the number 2 in lane, on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and anywhere else you can find us most likely. And we'll have we're going to try to do a lot of just raw footage of a lot of events and things that are happening in Daytona, to just put them up like some of the other guys do. So those who don't get to go, if they want to see kind of the environment, they get to do it, all the sounds and everything. No music, no splicing video. Maybe take out something that's not appropriate if it if it were to flash in front of the screen. But other than that, just some, raw video where they can hear the environment. I hear that is a pretty big attention getter, and so we have the ability. So we're going to do some of that kind of filming down there and just throw out some footage on YouTube for that. So,
are we doing any of that this weekend? Are you? I did not bring my stuff. I forgot it.
I gave him my camera, and he's make sure it's charged, and he's got the microphones already. He bought a set, didn't you?
Yep.
Yeah. So y'all just put your little lapels on, go around, talk it up, Spade, interview people, put a mic in their face and say, I want to ask you a few questions about your bike, get some video, do it to it. And then when you get back, we'll put it out there. I
told you that's not my strong suit, but I'll give it a shot.
You can do it. And I'm going to tell you, and we all know because we've been there, but there's a lot of people that enjoy this world that don't get to go like we do. We're very blessed that we get to go as much as we do and to the places we do. And so bringing that back and giving them a lot of opportunities to see that stuff in kind of real time and real environment, I have come to realize is pretty important. We don't have a ton of followers, but we're getting there. And but I have done some research, and I have reached out to some of the other content creators, and that's one of the things that they're seeing and realizing is that you can put together something fancy and people will gravitate to it if that interests them. But for a lot of riders who just don't get to go, they like to just see the raw footage. Just walk down Main Street recording what's real time happening and put it out there and let them see it. They get to kind of live it in their living room or in their basement or in their garage. So
yeah, I'm excited about Mama Tried. It's a
too,
relatively cheap weekend. I'm afraid though that when we come back, it's going to end up costing me $20,000 or $30,000.
Ouch!
I'm gonna end up wanting to buy.
I'll just buy you a bunch of them stickers for the raffle and come home with that road glide that they've got raffling off.
Yeah, that's my fear.
Well,
how lucky do you feel? You ever won a raffle?
We obviously have never won the lottery. We're still sitting here.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
John, you need to hold the GoPro, have it ready, because as soon as those back wheels start spinning on the ice and snow going north, I need you to turn that camera on. Roll the window down, get it outside. Let's get some footage of that.
I texted him about a week ago, or I guess a few days ago, and I said, "Hey, you got snow chains for that big old Denali?"
And he's got street tires on there now. He took the bad boys off.
No,
so.
those
mud
Michelins,
and snow
yeah,
tires.
those Michelins do good in snow.
No.
Yeah, they do too.
Mud and snow tires, what those are.
Attention, tire shops.
How about I got 70,000 miles on those tires
many
right
miles
now,
you
and
got on that
probably
truck?
another 10 to 20 to go.
Hey, have you seen that Michelin's come out with a new Commander Commander? It's got a little bit more of aggressive sidewall and still has the quality of the traditional Michelin, but and ride quality. But
Randy and I differ. He likes those 37-inch mud bogger.
No, I don't buy the
TSL
mud boggers.
radial
I bought the
somethings.
Recons this time. I didn't go
Do
with
you
the
like the
grapplers.
Recons?
I do.
Drunk
They're-
my
they're-
ego.
I'm
tires.
I'm still Ridge grapplers on all my
Well, the
vehicles.
Ridge grapplers are not as bad as most muds, but these Recons are nowhere near the
I've had
loud.
really
I like
good luck
something
with those
quiet.
grapplers.
Yeah.
Like both Jeeps and my truck
Yeah.
have grapplers on them. I just put a brand new set of grapplers, and the only thing that I've had with those grapplers, I did have the tires, separate, but I had
Right.
67,000 miles on them.
You went over your mileage.
Yeah, I mean,
The G2s were good. I had those for years, kind of the mid all-terrains. And then I went to the Ridge grapplers, which are very, a little more aggressive, but look really, 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 really good.
yeah.
And then I was like, man, I don't really need those. And I told the guy when I got these put on this truck out here, look, I'm just going to go to the G2s. And he said, we ever considered the Recons? And I'm like, meh.
So
But he
Johnny
talked me
tried
into
to
them,
Johnny
so-
tried to talk me into them up here at the local Chevrolet dealership when it
Yep.
kind of said. He said they got really good response out of them since they
I like
introduced
them. I like them. So we'll see. So far, so good. Well, all right. We got a lot going. Riding season, although it's 20 degrees outside in Birmingham, Alabama on this night that we're recording. It'll be warm soon. Matter of fact, I am looking here at our forecast, and it looks like that we are going to be seeing a warming trend next Tuesday. Well, let's just look at this. Sunday is the high of 55. Tuesday, the high is 70. So it's warming. It's going to warm fast. Going to have a little cold spurt. It's 55-degree high that Friday. We're supposed to leave, but Daytona is calling for on that Friday when we leave here and get the Daytona on that Saturday, 71 and sunny, 70 and sunny, 67 sunny, 76 and sunny, 76 and sunny.
That's perfect.
So I'm liking what I'm seeing. All right, guys. Thanks, guys, for showing up. John, thanks for sitting in with us, brother. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Yo, let's go get a bean.
Go get a bean.
Yeah.
Bean it out. Hey, guys.
Drop us a line.
Email us. Find us social media. Put a comment out there. Smash that bell. Like, subscribe. We love you. God bless you. Find two wheels to ride. Enjoy life. Live, laugh, and love. And never forget this one thing. God is real, and he will change your life if you will let him. God bless you.